Hello, I am so excited today to be able to introduce our speaker for today. Her testimony is an amazing testimony, and we're going to kind of do back and forth a little bit. It might be a little different than some of the other ones, but I just want you to hear the story and hear possibilities, because to me, it doesn't matter what your health story is. You are able to allow your body to build from the cellular level up, and you will always find an improvement in your health. So today we have Sharon Gale from, I can't remember where in Canada, Toronto, Ontario?
Yeah, Ontario, Toronto, Oshawa. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. So Sharon, go ahead and take it away and start sharing your story.
Hi everyone and welcome. Today, this is a testimonial with me. I've had lupus for many years.
Systemic lupus. Tell us what the difference between that is. I didn't know that.
I wrote it down. So it's a long-term autoimmune disorder. I say disorder, not disease. To me, disease is long-term, disorder is short-term. That's just my mental. I asked all my doctors to say disorder, not disease. So they agreed to that. So that's one thing.
That's good.
And this is where the body's immune system becomes hyperactive. So it's always in fight with itself and attacks the normal healthy tissues. So instead of it attacking just the sick tissues, it's attacking the healthy tissue. So it's Pac-Man in my system all the time. A lot of symptoms are inflammation, the rashes, inflammation of the heart, the lungs, joints, inflammation joints. So there's a lot of stuff going on with my body. So this all started back in 1994, 95. I was introduced to Shaklee through my parents, Noel and June Gale. So they were, you've got to take these supplements, yada, yada, yada. So we literally inhaled the supplements, and things started happening in 94 with my body. I noticed I was getting fatigue, tired all the time. My joints were hurting. I noticed inflammation in my hands, but I thought, you know what? It's just me. At the time, I was an high impact aerobics instructor, as well as working full time. So I was literally doing 2 jobs. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was doing the aerobics, plus working a 40-hour shift. So of course, you know, it does take a toll on you after a while. And then I moved out, and of course the supplements didn't follow, because mom and dad supported my supplement bill. And you had to choose between supplements or the rent or the car or the phone. So of course you choose everything else but your health. And
it happens so often, Sharon. The exact same thing happened with my daughter until there were health issues.
Yeah, it happens. And it just goes to show how important health is. So back in 94, when I noticed all these flare-ups starting happening, the rash, I thought, oh, it's nothing, you know, let's push it aside like we always do. And then 95 came, and I was getting really bad. I started getting the rash on my face. I had a rash on my leg, and mom goes, oh, that's a ringworm. So we were trying to figure how ringworm got on my leg, because it was an actual ring. Wow. My joints were swelling, my fingers were swelling up, and it got to the point where dad had to start cutting my rings off because it was cutting off my circulation. I had mouth cankers, sores in my mouth, and I had in my nose as well. So we didn't know what was going on. So finally mom says, no, we got to take you to the doctor. We went to my family doctor. Now this is a doctor that delivered me when I was born. So to him, I'm like his daughter. So when I came in and he saw me, his eyes basically said it all. It just, you know, it was sad. He was sad because he knew something was going on, and he did a test, and it was a DNA test to bring up what was going on with my system. Then the waiting game of trying to figure out what is going on. So in that process of the waiting game, I got really, really sick. I had to move from my apartment to move back home. I wasn't working at the time because I couldn't do the aerobics. I wasn't able to stand. My fatigue, I was sleeping like 8 to 12 hours, not eating. I was anemic. I was losing hair. I didn't know what was going on with my body. So finally they called. They said, please bring Sharon back in. We got the results. We got the results, and they said, you are now diagnosed with a disease called lupus. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. When am I gonna get better? There's no cure. I'm like, what do you mean there's no cure? There's no cure. We don't know how to treat lupus. So in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, you've gone to school for all these years, and you're telling me I have a disease that is uncurable. That's unacceptable to me. So then I started feeling better because they started putting me on medication, Imuran, prednisone, and something else.
And
So
basically those medications shut your immune system off, right?
yes. So my immune system was basically totally shut down. So when I started feeling better, Mom and Dad were really, really getting worried because I didn't look well. I was losing weight like crazy. And I guess when you're anemic, your skin doesn't look well. You just don't look healthy. And I wasn't as active as I was. I was the bubbly. If you knew me, I'm the bubbly Sharon. I'm bring the party out. I'm hopping. And I just wasn't there. And, it hurt Mom and Dad because, hey, where's their little girl gone? So when I went back to the doctor, out of the test that they did, the DNA, if you pick up 7 of those tests, that's how you have lupus. And I picked up all 10 of those tests. So that was very discouraging. He then said, I cannot treat you because this to me is personal. Because he delivered me, which makes sense. He says, I have to send you to specialists. So I went to one specialist, and all he did every single time I went there, prescription. See?
Oh my.
And there's more.
But that's all they're taught is symptom and drug.
Yes, they're not getting down to the root of the issue.
And now there might be a new drug. Let's try this drug.
Yeah. And so after I went to this one doctor, I told my mom, I don't like him. All he's doing is prescribing. So that was in 95. That's when a lot of things happened to me. I was in and out of the hospital every 10 days. As soon as I came out, 5 days later, I would be back in there because my anemic, my blood count was down. I was swelling again. My immune system was just totally fighting itself. And then the Imuran that I was taking, it was upsetting my stomach. So then they put me on another drug, an acid, to counteract the Imuran. And it's like, okay. Plus the prednisone, I went from 30 mils to 60 mils. So of course, I had the balloon face. I went from a size 8 to an 18 in 3 days and didn't understand what the prednisone was doing to me. The one thing they didn't tell me with the prednisone is that it depleted my calcium. So I didn't understand that. So these are things that I didn't quite understand. One doctor then with another specialist, he says, we have to admit you because I had water on the knees, and he tried to drain my knees. But you have to realize with lupus, my nerve endings were also sore. So anybody that touched me, any type of clothes or sheets or anything, I was just totally, totally sore. He put that needle in, and I yelled like no tomorrow. And my dad ran in, "What are you doing?" And of course, you know, the needle's sticking out of my knee, and he's trying to drain the water. And Dad goes, "That's it, stop." And so he says, "No, I have to admit her into the hospital because she is now really, really bad." The doctors didn't know what was going on. So when I was admitted to the hospital, another specialist came, and it's amazing how you can read doctors even though you don't have that medical field. He smoked. This is a doctor. He smoked. He had a really bad cough. And he just was, "You should be taking this. You should be taking that." And I told my family doctor, "I'm not going to be taking the Imuran anymore." So when this doctor came in and goes, "Oh, you're the one that's not taking Imuran." And I went, "And who are you?" And he goes, "I'm Dr. So-and-so." And I went, "Oh, that's nice." And I go, "Well, I'm glad you're not my family doctor." Right? And so Dad was like, "Oh no," right? But you have to say something because this is the body that you're living in for the rest of your life. Doctors can't tell you, "Hey, this is what you got to take." But if you're having all these reactions to your own body, what is there else to do? So while we're in the hospital, Mom says, "No, something's not right. We got to do something." And if you knew my parents, my mom loved Shaklee. She loved her Basic H and she loved the vitamins. So no matter what, it was like, "Go take some alfalfa, go do this, go do that." So she called Roland Osterhaus. Roland then got on the call to Dr. Whittam. And then we did a 3-way call in the hospital room where I was sick. Because they literally told my parents, "She's not going to make it." My blood count was really low, and they literally said, "She's not going to make it." So Mom says, "No, that's unacceptable. I'm going to call." So I was on the phone with Dr. Whittam and Roland Osterhaus, and the first thing out of Roland's mouth was, "Sharon." I'm like, "Yes. Do you want to feel better?" And I'm like, "What kind of question is that if I want to feel better? Of course I want to feel better. I'm laying here in a hospital bed, have needles up my yin-yang, getting drugged up. What do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. What do I have to gain? I have my life to gain back." So I said, "Of course I want to feel better, Roland." So he says, "Okay, this is what you're going to take." And Dr. Whittam was behind him on what I was to take. And he gave reasons on why I needed to take it. So every 4 hours, I was to take 2 tablespoons of protein in water. Why? I was anemic. Protein is the number one that helps fill our cells. If we don't take enough protein, it's going to come out of our hair, nails, skin, you name it. So by taking the protein every 4 hours, that helped replenish what I had lost.
So was it 2 tablespoons every 4 hours or 4 tablespoons every 4 hours?
4 tablespoons
That's
every 4 hours.
4 tablespoons every 4 hours.
4 tablespoons every 4 hours.
So it was like a tablespoon an hour.
Yeah, yep.
That's what I remember from back then because it was such a turnaround with you. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember going on the trips, and I was standing at the booth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and everyone would be looking at me, you know, and I'd be mixing it, and they're like, "How do you do that?" I go, "Easy, just put it to your head and drink it," you know. But so I was taking. We had to bring Liquili into Canada because Liquili we don't have Liquili, and that's the only way to get my iron level up. I was also on Performance to bring my electrolytes up as well as Physique. The reason why Dr. Whittam said to take the Physique because the Physique, your body already consumes natural hormones. The Physique is the one that would help kickstart it, jumpstart it. So by doing the Physique, the protein together helped me a lot.
So when you say natural hormones, in your case, it was to help you build your cortisone.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you know, when you said that the other night, I thought, wow, I didn't know that cortisone was considered a hormone. You know, we're so
Neither did
used to
I.
hearing it as a drug.
Yeah.
I know our body makes it. And if you take cortisone, you can't just cut off from it because it would kill you. Because when you take cortisone, it shuts your body's natural supply of making cortisone
Right.
off. So that was very interesting to know that by doing that, you would help your body build natural cortisone,
Yeah.
which is helping you to cut your inflammation down.
Right. And that's what the prednisone was doing.
Yes, except
Right.
you blew up from the drug where it worked with you using protein. So keep going. I'm sorry.
No, no,
That was
that's
just
good.
like a wow to me when you said that the other night.
So after that, I did what Roland and Dr. Whittam asked. A week later, I was out of the hospital, and every 2 weeks. Now, first of all, let me back up. Every time they did blood work in the hospital, they were taking blood from me every 2 hours. I don't know why, but I don't know about you, but if someone is really sick and your blood count's low, your blood is not going to generate itself every 2 hours. So
I
they were,
think they were trying to figure out what in the world was wrong with you, and they didn't know.
yeah.
So they kept pulling blood to see if possibly they might find something.
Well, you also have to remember too, lupus mimics other disorders.
Yep.
So
Yep.
1 minute they'll say this, next minute they say, oh, you have sickle cell. Oh, this is what you have. And in a way, in their eyes, they're like, what the?
They don't know. Yeah.
No. So it got to a point where I said to my dad, look at my arms. I had bruises on my arms from the needles, black and blue, because also too, when you're ill, your veins shrink. And I was anemic as well as dehydrated.
Wow.
So my veins were really, really tiny. It got so bad. I was crying, and my dad goes, what's the matter? And I said, look at my hands. Look at what they're doing to me. And he says, okay, that's enough. No more. So he put a stop to that. And they're like, no, we need to do more tests and this, that. He's like, no, this needs to stop. You guys have enough blood from her. She needs to start healing. And as soon as he said that, one doctor said, okay, I don't want to deal with her anymore.
Wow.
And that's just in the hospital. And then I had another specialist to go to. So when I got home, that's when we really dug into the food supplements. I had where is it? I wrote it. I found what I was taking. Oh, here it is. I was taking calcium, magnesium, 3,000 milligrams daily.
Okay.
The physique and protein, 1,000 milligrams daily.
Wow.
Okay. Bifidus daily. Flaxseed oil, EPA, and primrose oil daily. Glucosamine. Back in the day, we didn't have the glucosamine tablets. You guys are so lucky now. Garlic, 4 times a day. Vitamin C, 8,000 milligrams a day.
Wow.
Zinc, 100 daily. Alfalfa, 15,000 milligrams a day. That's to keep the inflammation down, alfalfa.
So how many was that? How many alfalfa was that?
You're looking at between 15 to 20 tablets.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is what I mean by inhaling supplements.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, but Sharon, they're pills. No, they're not. These are supplement your daily diet. Our diet doesn't give us the food requirements that we need. I don't know about anybody out there, but I haven't heard anybody overdosing on vitamins, but I do know that people do overdose and the side effects of medication.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I did not like, the side effects that I was getting from the medications that the doctors were prescribing. I had to find another solution, and this was my solution. Back in the day, they had Herb 5. I was taking 6 Herb 5 which is a fiber tablet, every single day, so my bowels would continue. Herblax was too strong at the time until I've got my immune system up and running. Q10, 1,000 milligrams daily, lecithin, 6 tablets, 3 times a day, and the Liquili I was taking at least three to 4 times a day. So that Liquili bottle only lasted like a week. So this is what I mean by inhaling the food supplements.
Yes, and this was before we had Vivix, right?
Yes.
But still, protein and Liquili were your mainstays.
Were my main, yes.
Yes, because the Liquili goes into your blood right away, and it's vitamins and iron. The minerals aren't in there, but it's vitamins and iron.
Yes.
So, wow. So how long did it take you before you started feeling a difference?
I would say about 95, 3-4 years before I started feeling better, because I noticed my skin started looking better. I was getting active again, right?
Okay, back up though. Did you still continue going back to the hospital every 2 weeks?
Yes, for about a year.
Okay.
Once the supplements started absorbing. I look at the body as a machine. We feed our body right, it's going to store it somewhere and say, oh, this is good stuff. Let me hold on to this. Her body may need it. So as I was fueling my body with the good nutrition, supplements, the protein and all that, my body was holding on to it. My body noticed more food supplements, more protein and everything was coming in. And then I noticed, oh, my nails are looking nice. So then it started distributing. Oh, my hair's starting to grow. Yeah. Then blood work started coming back. My immune system was coming up. My platelets were on the right count. My hemoglobin was really low. It got so bad that I had to get 2 blood transfusions. That's when they called Roland and Dr. Whittam when I was getting the blood transfusions. And when things started coming up, that's when I know, okay, supplements are working. You got to remember, food supplements take a while. Drugs are instant.
Yeah, because you're starting at cellular level and you're building new healthy cells, and all those sick cells have to die off.
Yep.
So you need to build new cells and then feed those cells. And yes, you're feeding your body and you're feeding some of the sick cells while you're going, but the process doesn't happen overnight.
Right. Yep.
It takes some time. But there had to have been, within your first like 30, 60 days, there should have been something that you noticed a little bit of difference of something.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So it wasn't a whole year before you noticed any difference.
No.
That's when you started really feeling like, oh, wow, this is working.
Oh, yeah. I noticed huge difference in my energy. I wasn't as fatigued as I was. My skin started looking better. My eyes are the first to give. If I know I'm in a lupus flare, my eyes go red. So my eyes were starting to get really, really clear.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. And you know, the reason that we feel it's so important to share these stories is because your body is so amazing when it's given what it needs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, if you listen to Sharon, and basically you were dying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, and now you're off from all your meds. Is that what I understood?
Yeah, I'm off all my meds. As a matter of fact, when I was starting feeling better, one of the doctors asked what I was doing, and I told her I'm taking Shaklee supplements, and she asked, what is Shaklee? And I said, vitamins that are healthy, blah, blah, blah. She says, okay, I need you to sign this piece of paper because I can no longer treat you. I'm like, okay, no problem. I signed it off. So she didn't want to be part of it. And I was thinking about it today. I said, I should go find her and say, hi, I'm the one that you fired. How are things with you? My one doctor, he sits down and reads my file totally from back to front. And he wants to put me back on Imuran. And I'm like, why do you want to put me back on Imuran when I've been off it for so long and I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I feel good about myself. Why? Oh, just in case you have a flare up. I says, well, I haven't had a flare up for the past 5 years now. Why would you want to put me on something? And he couldn't answer.
You know what's so interesting is when I started doing this, I used to get so upset with the medical community because of, you know, situations like that, or like I just had somebody the other day that came back to me and said, you know, I have no pain anymore, but the doctor said to me, well, if you know, want to have that placebo effect and it's all in your head, go ahead, keep taking it. You know, it really isn't doing you any good. So that used to upset me. And then I thought, no, they're only doing what they're taught.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them feel that they have anywheres from 10 to 12 to some of them up to 15 years of schooling.
Yeah.
I don't have any. But you
Exactly.
know what? I watch the results of people and I just feel so blessed every time that I'm able to help somebody. And I'm sure you feel exactly the same way, knowing what you've been through.
And too, Nina, in 98, I had my first hip replacement. Told it was supposed to be a bone graft, but because my cells were so low, they couldn't do the bone grafting. They had to go in. I was bone on bone, and I had to do a total hip replacement. I was, I think, 30. So when you think age 30, getting a hip replacement when you're supposed to be thinking about kids, family, your lifestyle, and everything, you're going in thinking about a hip replacement. But I have to tell you, because I was feeling so good and I was so active, my recovery time for my hip replacement was amazing. I was also taking the physique, still continuing with the physique because lupus eats away at your muscles. So I had to be careful with that. And they couldn't understand why I had nice muscle mass. And I was out of the hospital for my hip surgery. Within, I would say, 8 to 12 weeks, I was out.
Yeah.
I was doing physio and everything.
Yes. I love these stories because it's amazing what your body is capable.
Oh, yeah.
And so I hope that those of you who have watched this are like, wow, you know, your body can heal itself. Don't think that when you've got lupus that you're stuck in that.
No.
Don't think that if you've got MS, you're stuck in that. I've got people with that. It doesn't matter what the ailment is. It's not about us curing anything. It's about us helping people build from a cellular level up.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So is there anything else that you'd like to add here, Sharon?
All I can say is if you do have an illness, look into the food supplements. The research is amazing. Use your body as a tester, because I did. If you start feeling better, we tend to, oh, I feel good, and stop taking the supplements and then come back on it.
Your products, yeah. But the products, it's not all food supplements aren't created the same.
They're exactly
different. And then you can say, well, but these are organic, but this goes far beyond organic. And then it does testing after that. And then knowing what's in, it's a whole gamut of stuff. So whoever shared this video with you, I'm just encouraging you to go back to them and ask them to help you get started on a basic program, right?
Basic program, protein vitally.
Yes. So, all right. Thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing your testimony.
You're welcome.
I know that you will have made a difference for other people by sharing this.
I hope so.
Absolutely. So, thank you and have an awesome day.